Hello again, and for today, I am going to be diving into some of the more regular content that I had planned before the virus outbreak began. And let me tell you, I've been watching the Democratic primary with bated breath as Joe Biden swept Super Tuesday not too long ago. And Jesus fucking Christ, it's like he was about to lose everything, and yet, for some reason, the establishment has now rallied around this senile old pervert, and it's real fucking funny. So let's get into the standings of Joe Biden right now. Recently, he was involved via his son through a lot of the scandal surrounding the quote unquote impeachment trial. It's just real stupid stuff. And it showed a lot of his corruption. It showed a lot of his establishment bona fides. And it really showed that this guy has deep state swamp creature through and through. And really is a bad choice for this country, and if you do not see that, then I'm sorry, you're fucking you're dumb. You're just dumb. I can't really understand why you would think that this guy is good. And yeah, so he's involved in all that. He's involved in a lot of the campaign drama. This man is known for being an absolute gaffe master, and he's been that way for a really long time. Ever since like 2008, he's just been firing off gaffes like it's nothing. But I mean, I really don't understand why these people are backing this fucking guy. Like, oh, it's just so funny. And to my further point in my older video to say, is the Democratic Party finished? I would say yes, they're finished. They will be utterly ass blasted come November, regardless of what's going on in the world right now with the coronavirus. We're going to see disastrous results for the Democratic Party as a result of them choosing the worst possible option. Like, oh my god. Like, even though I hate pretty much the entire lineup, like, all of the younger candidates were infinitely miles better than creepy old Joe Biden. And Jesus Christ. So I think I've had enough fun at his expense. So let's go into why I think that Joe Biden is a terrible choice for the Democratic nominee for the general election of 2020 in the United States presidency. So first off, he's incredibly old. Lots of people have been complaining about how, it's been elder abuse to watch him go up on stage, forget stuff, just constantly be making these elderly gaffes, constantly just not remembering things properly, and just having on stage dementia. Yeah, it's so obviously transparent. I mean, Trump is going to make mincemeat of this old fuck, and they're not that far apart in age range, but Trump has energy. Joe Biden is very low energy. Very low energy. It's so obvious when you watch him. Like, even when he has his, like, Aryan Joe moments, like, he's just so fucking old that you kind of have to laugh at the boomer. You have to laugh at the boomer. Alright, so the second point I would say is that Joe Biden essentially stands for nothing. If you were to ask any of his current supporters what his policies are, you would get lots of blank reactions. And if I were to be that kind of man on the street channel, that would be my primary mission right now, is to just fly to a city and come up with a video that is essentially just asking average people on the street what Joe Biden's policies are. And, I would obviously have to have them all memorized so that I wouldn't look like an idiot myself, but Jesus fucking Christ. Like, he really does stand for nothing, and it's obvious that, that this is essentially the anti-Trump candidate, and that's why the establishment has backed this guy, is because he has enough foil qualities to Donald Trump, and yeah, it really shows that they got nothing. It's really fucking funny. So Joe Biden's campaign, according to him, though, is supposed to represent a return to normalcy. Returning to the Obama status quo. And for lots of people out there, they don't want that. And that's why I consider that to be the third point. It's simply because this return to neoliberalism, this return to globalization, this return to mass immigration, all of the shit is exactly why we're in the situation we're in right now when it comes to the coronavirus. And I don't think anyone is going to want that as a result of, years and years and years into decades of fucking just the neoliberal status quo. And, Joe Biden completely represents that. And as a result, it's just gonna not work out for him. The fourth point I would say is that the party is utterly fucked. As each one of these candidates, including Coconut Milk Mommy herself, Tulsi Gabbard, dropped out to endorse Joe Biden, it just shows that there is no real cohesion in the party. I mean, as fake as he is, Cory Booker did say that fucking Joe Biden would be the worst choice, and yet there he was on fucking MSNBC or whatever, just flat out endorsing him, even though months earlier he was just saying, this would be a terrible idea to fucking back Joe Biden. And, I almost want to say that there is some fuckery afoot, as Joe Biden was just descending into the polls before Super Tuesday. And then out of nowhere, he gets the black vote in South Carolina. And now he's like this fucking legitimate candidate. So it just goes to show that, honestly, we live in interesting times. But, when it comes to the Democratic Party's cohesion, they really do not have any. And it's quite obvious to the average viewer of news that, they're all going to back this guy that they really, really don't care for, that they really don't have any passion for. Say what you will about Hillary Clinton, but fucking, the femoids were definitely out in force trying to get their female presidential candidate into the office. Joe Biden will not have that kind of enthusiasm, and Joe Biden clearly just doesn't have that kind of energy to bring to the table. I mean, if you were to go back months ago, like, his crowd sizes were absolutely abysmal. And now you expect this whole fucking party that's in complete disarray, that according to the socialist e-girl herself, AOC, has said, if me and Joe Biden were, candidates in a different country, we'd be in completely different parties. That's what the Democratic Party is right now. It is a fractured party. Trump has unified all of the majority conservative bases under his wing. And yeah, even though that means a lot of the merchant right people, a lot of the grifters are in that camp, you gotta take it as at least that is numeric strong support for one man, Donald Trump. So that's ultimately what's going to win him the presidency in the very end of things. And yeah, it's just the party itself is fucked. I mean, at this point, there is no turning back. They are not doing anything to be helpful when it comes to the spread of the coronavirus. A lot of them are trying to get lots of martial law policies implemented, like Andrew Cuomo was doing today on the news. And I was just like, head in my hands, you gotta be fucking kidding me, Plastic Andy. Like, what are you doing? Like, I swear, he is going to delay the end of the quarantine just to fuck with Trump. And it's not going to look good for him when it comes for his reelection, because he's just, again, overreacting to fucking everything. And you got to be sick of it at this point. So I think the final point in this commentary that I'm going to address when it comes to the issues of Joe Biden as a candidate is Creepy Joe. All of the videos of him smelling women and children. And it's just like, do you want to look like a pedophile? Because, there's something fucking up here, Joe. What are you doing, Joe? And, you know, all of those videos are just going to be constantly recirculated in the post-primary into the general election cycle. I mean, the Trump campaign has probably been sitting on all this shit. They try to do it early. And, you know, they clearly didn't want to blow their load, which is why they have stopped doing it for right now. But you know that the whole campaign, every single fucking ad is just going to be Joe Biden sniffing children, and that's going to be what's burned into the collective consciousness, is the fact that Joe Biden is a creep. And, you know, it doesn't matter that he's dementia. It matters, like, what the fuck is he doing? You know, you do not want a president who is one of these elite pedophiles like Jeffrey Epstein. You don't want this disgusting human being to be at the forefront of anything. And it just goes to show that, you know, Joe Biden has got lots of skeletons in his closet. From the base level of corruption to probably the sexual perversion. I mean, Joe Biden pretty much covers all the bases when it comes to being a political elite. And only time will tell what truly is in those closets. So, in conclusion, I think I've illustrated my point quite well as to why Joe Biden is a terrible choice to be the forthcoming president of the United States under the Democratic Party. A terrible candidate, terrible fucking politician, just complete senile, you know, dementia-ridden fuck. And of course he's obviously creepy because you've seen those videos. If you've stumbled into this channel, you have more than likely seen those videos already. If not, I'll make sure to find a playlist or something and leave that in the sources in the description. Because that shit is important for the electorate to be aware of how fucking creepy Joe Biden is. Yeah, not the strongest candidate. So to the Democratic Party establishment, to the DNC, to all of these activist groups who are now being forced to coagulate behind Joe Biden, I don't think you have anything to tread lightly about because you people are just fucked.